Welcome to the Beasts of the NFC East podcast. I'm your host, Sean Gnitzcavich, with my co-host, Jeremy Goode. And after a week where the Giants were the only winners in the NFC East, we are now one of the harshest losers. And there was two winners because there was an NFC East matchup. And one of them was the Philadelphia Eagles, who had a good win over their former quarterback, Carson Wentz. And the others was the Cowboys, who destroyed the Commanders and Jaden Daniels' hamstring, perhaps. But the real story is how the Giants had another historic performance that went not in their favor. And this time it was blowing a 19-point lead, allowing the Broncos to score 33 points in the fourth quarter for the first time in 1,608 games per Ari Mirov. A team blew a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. And I was at a wedding, at a beautiful wedding. Congrats to James and Sam. That was a beautiful wedding in Massachusetts. I promised my fiance I would not watch the game at the wedding, which was tough for me. You know, I watch every single Giants game. I get work off for the Giants game. But I was like, you know what? I'll have faith in my Giants. And there was all this hype, all this crap talk. I'm sorry for leading off with the Giants, but I'm a little pissed because I had to watch the game. I had to watch the game in the condensed form on YouTube TV so I could know exactly what the hell went wrong. And I knew we lost ultimately. But it was like It was like watching the Titanic and rooting for Jack to live, even though you know he's gonna die. And it's just miserable.
Spoiler alert! My goodness.
Yeah. And you want to know what's another spoiler? I've actually never finished the Titanic 2 because I already knew what was going to happen. But this time I finished it in sports form, and it was sad. It was really good. It was like, oh my God, wow, like nothing could go wrong. And then bam, 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 everything goes wrong. And then actually we had enough people that were like, you know, the game started during like the beautiful speeches, such beautiful speeches. But this was like after everybody ate and like we're looking and like, dude, the Giants are killing them. And then we're like, wait a second, there's a comeback brewing. So like, okay, you should pull it up. So I watched the Jackson Dart touchdown to take the lead again and leave 30 seconds on the clock for the Broncos. Yes. Sorry, we're getting into the game before this, but then my fiance was like, okay, the Giants know when it's just, I was like, I don't know. And then I see Judd McAtamby miss his third kick in the past 2 weeks because he sucks and should never be on an NFL roster. I get the international player pathway program. We had Sandro Platzcom where you just leave him on the practice squad. You don't let him actually play. It's a good story. And of course, then I see, I was like, whatever. I was just have faith in the Giants. It's 30 seconds. Their defense was doing pretty good for the first three quarters. And I see these other guys. They're literally just box score watching on their phone. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Is this what you're looking for? Because I want to watch this too. And then we just watch in misery as the Giants just blew one of the biggest lead in the fourth quarter, I think, ever. Well, at least in 1,608 games, which is a lot of games, considering
a lot of years.
A lot of years, yeah. But I don't even think I've asked the question. Jeremy Goode, what is good?
How to follow that, Sean? Another good week of football. A lot of good games. 4:00 games are great. I mean, besides that one in Denver, a lot of close games this week. Eagles get back on track. Good week of football. A lot of scoring. A lot of close games and games down to the wire, which I think middle of the season you don't get as much of. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I get that others might not have, but good week overall for me, from my perspective.
Yeah, no, it's good seeing all the Eagles fans back on track, and you guys played so good that Brandon Graham came out of retirement. Congrats to you. You got your 37-year-old savior defensive end.
I don't love that. I think Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox retired the year after they went to the first Super Bowl against the Chiefs, and that sucked. Like, having them retire the year before they won the Super Bowl, brutal. And then Brandon Graham wins the Super Bowl, you're like, oh, that's all. Like, like, I don't usually buy into that stuff, but I'm like, oh, that is so cool. 15 years. He wins the Super Bowl his final year. He go out in the sunset. Like, that's cool. And now we have such a defensive edge issue with the Eagles, so we'll get into it. But we have
Yeah.
to bring back 37-year-old Brandon Graham. Leadership wise, I love the idea. Productiveness, I think he can be productive, but he also could
Yeah, I
get
feel like
hurt.
he played okay last year.
Yeah, one healthy, but coming off of two serious injuries. And though he had the same injury in the Super Bowl that he had just with the I forget Packer or whatever something. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Weird.
I think it's more of a good story. It's like
Yeah.
when the Giants brought back Landon Collins and like we were going on a playoff run and then like he wasn't even really good enough to start. But then he'll have
Yeah.
that play where you're like, man, I'm glad you came back for that.
Yeah.
Like Landon Collins pick six against the Colts.
Yeah. I
But
mean, leadership wise, like there is something to like adding him to that locker room, I think is brilliant. It's just let's maybe add another defensive end who's like just give me an Arden Key. I don't need anybody
yeah,
like fancy. I don't need anyone who's going to cost that much, that many picks. Just give me someone like that. We'll see. I think they still do something like that, but until they do, a lot of faith in Brandon Graham going forward.
yeah. But we're gonna get into all these games. So I do before that. I mean, while we're on the topic, like, do you think
Yeah.
maybe you didn't need to trade? Was it a fourth and a fifth for Tank Bigsby, and you could have
Yeah,
saved
I think
that
it
for
was a fifth.
the rest of it?
I think it was a fifth and a sixth. Um, those are two picks that are adding up right now. I do
Yeah,
like Tank as a backup running back. It didn't work out as a kick returner, but I still think there is value in having someone who is a backup running back who can get starts at the running back position if you need them to, and not
yeah,
and be a competent starter as quote unquote backup, even though they're now the starter as a running back too. I think Tank
yeah,
has done that pretty well in the NFL so far. First few years with Jacksonville with ETN, he had a lot of opportunities, and I think he was decent at it.
yeah,
Nothing great, nothing special. So, but I think he was a good backup and someone who can start here and there, which is important. Some of the Eagles really haven't had. They've had like Kenny Gainwell, who is nice, but he's not really a premier back, even if your lead back gets injured. So, as a backup going forward, maybe it could work. But those picks, yeah, they don't have those picks anymore. They add up.
yeah. Especially when I just think there are bigger needs. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
Saquon has struggled all season, but you wouldn't think like, okay, let's bring in a replacement to take over
Well,
Saquon after he was
they
bad in his
made the trade
players
when Will
here.
Shipley got hurt, and they thought the
Yeah,
injury was going to be more serious, and it only turned out to be, I think, a 2 week. I think he only missed 2 games, so they kind of needed a running back at the time, but they paid a premium price for it. So that's where the balance comes in. How do you get a running back at a lower cost, or do you just put in, a few more resources and picks to get someone like Tank Bixby, who is intriguing in his own way? Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think that's what the Jaguars, they were just trying to figure out who was going to win that battle, Etienne or Bigsby, and then just ship that guy off. So it's like,
Yeah,
I mean, it was kind of known they were trying to get rid of one of the two. And Etienne's been playing decent this season. I mean, I think he's cooled down from his hot start, but
yeah, he
yeah,
it worked. Jacksonville gets some draft picks in depth there. It's interesting because ETN's health has just been awful in the NFL. So you
yeah,
would think that they would be content with having Bigsby as a backup. I guess he wanted a bigger role, maybe. But then again, he's going to Philadelphia, so that I don't know. Like, I don't
yeah.
know where
That's
that falls into place. But yeah, it's weird. I would have thought that Jacksonville like would have told Tank like, listen, I get that you want to start somewhere, but ETN's our number one, and he's very prone to injury. So you'll get the next dosage, and you've had success in those kind of roles. So I'm not sure. NFL's a weird league.
Dude, it is so weird, and like this is just another little side tangent on that. Like Brian Robinson wants to leave the Commanders because he wants more of a bigger role. Goes
Yeah.
to the 49ers and is
Right.
like behind a very amazing Christian McCaffrey who looks fully healthy again.
Yeah.
Then you get Kenny Pickett who like doesn't want to be the backup to Russ. He gets traded
Right.
to the Eagles where he's he finally gets thrust into action, then gets hurt too, and then Tanner McKee looks better than him anyways. So it's like I just think it's like you get a little too picky. And it's Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders, the whole thing, he didn't want to get drafted by the Ravens. He would be
Yeah.
starting for the Ravens by now, which would probably be better.
He didn't want to get drafted by the Eagles too.
Yeah.
And the Eagles would have taken. It's funny now with the information we have, how we would have taken Shador with one of those fourth round picks or whatever. It didn't. The layout never made sense where they perfectly had opportunities and they just passed on him. Yeah, he didn't want to play in Philadelphia because he didn't want to be behind Jalen. Listen, I mean, I don't get some of these players, and then you can't complain once you get to that team because you were shipped, you were moved. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you blocked everybody else, man. So
yep,
that is what it is. Yeah, but I guess let's get into these games. Do you want to start with your? I mean, chronologically, it was the Eagles Vikings to start this thing
yes,
off.
1 o'clock game. Uh, Eagles played well. There's still
Yeah,
some concerns. It's a good win. It's a good win for the Eagles to get back on track after a 2-game losing streak. They go into Minnesota, who I think is a pretty good team, not great team. When they have Carson Wentz as their quarterback, I think that also takes them a notch down. They have talented players. Weird team because they were the second ranked defense against passing. They don't really have a number one corner, so I don't know how that's possible. Their safeties, unless I'm missing someone, they're like Harrison Smith, nice player, but not the guy he used to be. Still a good player, but and then their
yeah.
linebackers, I don't think they're like amazing in coverage either. So very weird. And
I mean,
I guess,
they
yeah,
have
go
good.
ahead.
They have. I mean, well, I do love Josh Metellus, but he's like a Swiss Army knife. So he's
Yeah,
technically one of their
he's
safeties.
kind of like a safety linebacker, and AJ cooked him on the first
Yeah,
touchdown. Not Metellus' fault. He should not have been in that position. But
yeah,
um, yeah, it's a weird Minnesota team because like we're 6 games before this game started. We're 6 games in, so it's a decent enough sample size. Maybe not enough ultimately, but the Eagles cooked them. Jalen Hurts cooked through the air. The run game wasn't there when Cam Jurgens got hurt. I think in the second quarter,
yeah,
the Eagles abandoned the run completely because they just have no faith running behind someone like Brett Toth. I understand that. I give them credit for adjusting like that. Um, yeah, AJ Brown, big game. Devontae Smith, massive game. Nice to see. The Eagles pay a premium at the wide receiver position, as they should. AJ Brown is that guy. Devontae Smith is that guy. They
yeah,
just don't always utilize them like they should, or even bare minimum. So good to see Jalen air it out. He had a perfect passer rating. Still kind of weird to me that this offense only scored 21 points. Eagles had a pick six, Jalix Hunt, pick six off of a Jalen Carter, great pressure. So they win 28-22. Offense only scores 21 points. A little weird to me if you have a quarterback with a perfect passer rating and only scoring 21 points. I think that's because of the interior linemen who are just unable to help with the run
yeah.
whatsoever. So again,
And a
another
good interior defense too on the Vikings. I
yes,
mean,
yes, I'll give
Jonathan
minute.
Allen,
Yes,
a couple of old NFC East players, Javon Hargrave, amazing.
yeah.
There's another underrated guy on that Vikings front. I'm trying to think of his name.
Jonathan Green,
Jonathan Gennard on the edge
yeah,
is amazing.
yeah, he's
Dallas
great.
Turner was a high pick too, but I feel like there's another like interior
Devon
guy.
Hargrave, Jonathan Allen. They
Yeah.
had one guy. Oh, I forget his name. I think we're thinking of the same player. He's a nice
I don't
player.
think he played. I was looking at this at the
Oh,
stat
really?
sheet because I feel like it'd jump off. I guess he must not have played. But Isaiah Rogers, man, Isaiah Rogers too, dude.
Yeah,
Revenge game. I
yeah. He
heard he
got
got
cooked.
some
It
bad
was funny.
messages.
Eagles fans were so Eagles fans are the worst in terms of the grass is always greener on the other side. They always get so pissed when like someone else looks good in another team if we didn't re-sign him. It's like, guys, Isaiah Rogers is a good player. He is not a great player. We saw
Yeah,
in Philadelphia when he had to play extended minutes in a game that he sort of takes a little bit of a dive because it's just a lot for him.
yeah,
Again, it's hard to cover AJ Brown. It's hard to cover Devontae Smith. They both had Isaiah Rogers' number, but like Eagles fans are like like they are so like pissy about this stuff. It's like, guys, it's Isaiah Rogers. Hurts was
yeah,
great. It was nice seeing him connect on so many deep passes. If he only hit a few, I think you could say not say fluky, but you'd want to see more. He hit. There were like at least I think 8 of his completions were at least 20 yards or more. 19 or something like that, 19 yards or more. That's great. I mean, it's hard to play that way consistently, but like that, it's just a great game from him. I think I want to see that more. Just see the passing game at that level a little more often than not. And they have to fix the running game. It's just you just can't have Brett Toth at center. The only good thing about Brett Toth at center was during training camp, Sean,
Yeah.
they tried him at center. He's probably the worst person at snapping the ball. So that meant that when he played the Vikings on Sunday, Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts was under center, and then they were running play action. And the Eagles never do that because Hurts isn't great at that stuff. But that once we did it, we started hitting on plays. So that was nice to see. I'd love if that could. Oh my god, I'd love if he could play under center going forward and implement play action stuff. Oh, it would do wonders for this team. It did wonders. Defense gave up a lot of yards to Carson, but also settled on a lot of field goals. I always say between the 20s, you could give up 20,000 yards. I don't care. As long as the possessions are resulting in field goals, that's great. I guess I'd love not to give up that many yards to Carson Wentz. I still think they give up a lot of space in terms of passing, in terms of where guys are positioned on the line. But they Vikings settled for a lot of field goals, and that was a difference. So good win. Devontae was great. AJ was great. Uh,
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
Devonta Smith told Kevin Petula like, "Hey, like I see this open, like call us
Yes.
up." So he designed that shot. That was like what the big deep touchdown.
Yeah. They saw that in the first half. He wanted to get done. They weren't able to communicate, I guess. And then at halftime, they were, yeah, it's a good point. They talked about it and they got it done. It was great to see. They are such we know AJ Brown's a great vertical threat, and we know that too about Devontae. We saw it in college, his
Oh
entire
yeah,
career. It hasn't really been utilized that much in the NFL, to some extent. But like, oh my god, middle of the field, him streaking. He's just tough to. He's just tough. He's so physical for his size, with such sure hands. It's such a talent to have. So that was great. Hopefully they try to play consistently going forward. They have the Giants next, so maybe a little bit of a revenge game. They can't take that game for granted again because they did the first time. So
yeah.
uh yeah, we'll see.
No documentaries that their players are going to put out on the streaming
I don't
service
think
right
so. I
after the
think we're
game,
all
directly after the game.
I think we're documentaried out. Although
Yeah,
Allen Iverson, I think, is coming out with one on Netflix. So there you
that's
go.
fair.
But
Maybe they'll curse the
no
Sixers.
more Eagles, I don't think.
Good. Hey, and Makuba, dude, is that a second interception of the year?
Second interception. He's been interesting because he's been great against the run.
Yeah.
Downhill plays.
Mhm.
Coverage has been okay-ish. He's had some moments, but you would understand that
Yeah.
his open field tackling is kind of disastrous.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, he's a
it's
smaller guy.
he is a smaller guy. He does pack a punch. So hopefully it's just the rookie things, rookie being rookie. But I'd love that to be corrected because it's tough. It really you don't want to have him lose snaps because you want him to learn. But some of the missed tackles he have are they lead to touchdowns. Like it's bad. So great pick
I
by
mean,
him,
yeah.
dumb play by Carson, but he this is what he was at Texas, right? A ball hawk kind of guy, and that's it's nice to have at the safety position. The Eagles, they had that with Reed, who hasn't done much in the interception department this year, but he has historically, when they had CJ Garner Johnson, he was a ball hawk player too. Nice to have back there for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was I mean, I will say your secondary, I feel like still is somewhat like obviously you have the strong points, Quinion Mitchell and
Yeah,
Cooper Dean, but I feel like there's just those loose ends. I mean,
yeah.
Carson Wentz being able to dot up with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson.
Oh my
Luckily, it didn't
god,
turn into any
especially
touchdowns
Jordan
through the air.
Addison. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
Jordan
special.
Addison.
Addison is a special player. You can really do a lot of stuff with him around the field. But
He's very similar to Devonta Smith. I feel like.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's the same smaller, shifty
yeah,
stretch to field. Yeah,
yeah. They and Adoree Jackson, he wasn't awful. Not amazing. We know who Adoree Jackson is. You know who Adoree Jackson is, Sean, especially at
Yeah,
age 29. He was
and
okay.
and he and he
And then he got hurt. I think he got a concussion. And then
yeah.
uh, Keely went in and wasn't awful, but like gave up some big plays. That's the thing too. When Keely Ringo's in the game for the Eagles, what the Eagles are saying is don't give up big plays. Give up stuff in front. And I guess I guess that happens so they can be happy enough. But yeah, not
Yeah.
it's you're right. There's something wrong with it's one player too, and it's amazing how it's unfolded in such a disastrous way for them.
Well, I think after the Giants game, I think it was Shady McCoy, like some former Eagle like called out. It was on a play where Cam Scatterby scored a touchdown, and Adoree Jackson just
Oh
gave up
yeah,
on
Adore,
the play.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was the
just like
worst.
didn't
I would
even
have benched
try,
him.
which
I
he
would have
did
benched him
all
when I
the
saw
time
that.
in New York his last year too. His last 2
Yeah,
years, because I think he
yeah,
was like looking for a contract, so he's like, oh, I don't want to get injured because he got
yeah,
injured all the time in Tennessee and with the Giants. But
yeah.
then he looked so bad with that lack of effort play. He didn't
That
get
play
signed
was
until
so
the
bad.
Giants just picked him up halfway through the season, or like right at the
Yeah,
start of the season, because our GM doesn't know how to fill holes on the team, glaring
yeah.
holes that you need to like not be a disastrous football team, which we'll get into.
I forget who was saying this, but they said they think that this could be Adoree Jackson's last year just because of his play and
Oh
his
yeah,
age. And it is so when you see like Cam Scatterbo come at running at him, he's
he's
making a
like,
life
I'm good.
decision, and he's
He's
making a
like,
life
yeah.
decision, and like I guess kind of it makes sense, but like also it's like, you know what, you can't be on the field if you do that.
That's why Zadarius
That
Smith retired too. Probably he's like there's like these young CTE sharks and Cam
maybe
Scadaboo that are
there
just
was one
headhunting,
play
and it's like I'm
early.
good.
Yeah, there was one play early in the game where he missed a tackle against the run. Wasn't the worst play. It didn't amount for much for the Giants, but like so was saying like maybe that's Darius Smith saying time to wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is funny seeing the love for the game just leave their bodies on these
Yeah,
plays. I mean, we were saying
punishing
it earlier.
punishing
Yeah.
sport.
What was that?
Punishing sport. It's
Oh,
uh
100%. Yeah.
It's it's a reason. It's a reason, Sean, why these guys, why Ndamukong and Sue, why certain players are like at their age, like when they're 33, 34, 35, they'll say to teams, "I'm not going to do training camp. I'm not going to do the beginning of the season. If you guys are a winning team halfway through the season or 10 weeks in, sign me. I'll be ready. I'll be fit." And kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I feel like Brandon Graham literally just like signed with the Eagles for one last like Giants win. I swear. Like I mean, he's always been shitting on the Giants,
Health
dude.
wise, it might be the case. This is someone who
Yeah,
had
I think he might be
serious.
one and done, dude.
Yeah, win one, win one, win one. That would be. I mean,
He
I
saw
that
the
would be.
last game. He was flirting with it. He's like, if we beat the Vikings, I think that maybe we can gain some
Oh my
momentum. He
god.
saw Jalen Hurts was sufficient in passing. I think we brought up he had negative 10 rush yards technically with the
Yes,
so it's just the first time in his career because I mean he's always done stuff on the ground
I
and
would assume. Right.
it's crazy with Saquon Barkley not being sufficient in the run that you guys were able to get that off. I think obviously Carson Wentz throwing 2 picks helped out, but like not being able to
Yeah.
have a run game and also Jalen Hurts having a perfect passer rating like that. The fact that he showed when the run game isn't working, he could do it through the air. It's good.
Yeah.
I think people were questioning Jalen Hurts,
Well, that's the
after those
one thing
last
that
two losses.
this Eagles team has in hand for them going forward. It's a very balanced, talented team where you have different components of the offense. If one's not working, the other can, and they've been lucky with that work last year. It's kind of working this year. That's why you get talent all around the team, especially on offense. So you'd like it to be a little more balanced and a little more productive all around, but when you do have to fall back on certain things, hopefully, worst case scenario, you can do that. So yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. Anything else about these Eagles before we move on here?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Minnesota. I think they're good. I I, I don't know
I
what
think
to
if
make of JJ McCarthy yet. Um, Carson Wentz
I think he
just.
sucks, and they're scared to put him back in. I think that
I think that could be the case too. But regardless of the quarterback situation, the team itself, and I guess you can't really say this because the quarterback is so important. The team itself, minus the quarterback, pretty good, I guess. But like,
pretty
I
good.
guess they're missing something.
Defense is
They're missing. I think they're missing. They're missing an enforcer on defense. They're missing. I mean,
I mean,
offense.
they do have some great pieces on defense, though. Like, you know, like
Yeah,
on all three levels, you know, even though Harrison Smith's a little bit older, Josh Patel's like we were saying earlier, moves around. Blake Cashman's a decent, you know, linebacker. They have good names at cornerback, you know, like, and then offense.
Aaron Jones is so productive, and I guess and Jordan Mason as a backup is pretty solid. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see when Aaron Jones gets back. I think he should be back next week because I think he almost made it.
He's been out for a minute. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Because my fiance has him on her fantasy team because, you know, former Packers. She loves.
Oh, me too. Not because former Packers, just because I drafted him.
He's good. Yeah, well, he was going late in drafts. I actually drafted him in a lot of like best ball leagues. He was so late. I'm like, dude, he's still super productive. He hasn't had a bad season yet. And then,
it's a lot of touchdowns too.
That's the injury bug. That's like all these guys that you're like, this time it'll be good. Like Mike Evans, bam. You know, he's getting older now, but he's always good. James Conner, older, but he's always good. Bam, injured. I've been holding Kendre Miller on my bench, waiting for the Saints to trade Alvin Kamara. Bam, ACL tear out for the season. What am I doing with my roster, dude?
It's a good listen. I mean, you're thinking in the right place.
Yeah. Well, you know what? So yeah, that was that for the Eagles Vikings. Now that we're talking about fantasy, I think it's time for a new game. But yeah, the Eagles beat the Vikings 28-22. It was close throughout like the whole game. You know, like it was a back and forth.
Yes, it should have been a lot not as close in the Eagles, but yes, overall.
I feel like the vibes were different. I feel like you guys felt like you had it the whole time.
You
guys
think
never lost the lead.
The Eagles never trailed in the game, and but it still was close. You're right. It's both can be true. Yep.
Yeah. Well, talking about a game where it felt like it wasn't close at all until it was, and then it was very close, and then it was close again, and then it was over, and really sad. And that was the New York Football Giants, which we already alluded to in the opening because I'm so frustrated and so hurt by it that I couldn't help myself from ranting about it. And that is the New York Football Giants heading into Mile High Denver Broncos, who they've been crap talking, shit talking, and guess what? Like they backed it up. The Giants backed it up. It wasn't the Giants that were talking the shit provided. It was some of the other ones that shouldn't be on the roster, and maybe some coaching and maybe some GM moves that lost us this game, in my opinion. But anyways, Giants lose ultimately 32-33. The Broncos put up 33 points in the fourth quarter. Giants had a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. I said it before. 16. I don't even how many years. I don't know. I want to like translate that, and I don't know how many years. It might be the entire NFL history, to be real.
Just divide. I guess different eras there were 14 games, 16 games, seasons, but you could get kind of close.
Yeah. It's sad. I think and this is the thing too, because like we have a rookie quarterback, so like I think a lot of teams when they have a rookie quarterback, if they're playing well and you're in close, entertaining games like this, you're happy with it. And honestly, right. I am happy. I mean, Jackson Dart, dude, Tiki Barber, man, I'm not gonna lie. Giant great. He also was like real salty. I remember he picked like the Patriots in the Super Bowl after he retired. Like He had those things about Saquon. Now he's like all in the Giants quarter. I've watched his radio show, and those guys don't know what they're like. And listen, our podcast has like 15 views on it, but WFAN, dude. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, first off, one of the guys is cocky as hell. He's always like, and then he can't even name like players. He can't like he's like talking out of his ass. And I'm like, and then Tiki had some dumb comment, and Malik Neighbors with him are going back and forth. He's like, we lost this game because we put it in the hands of a rookie. I'm like, what are you what do you say? Jackson Dart has been playing phenomenal. He's the reason why we were able to be in this game in the first place. The reason why we were up 19-0. Jackson Dart played amazing. And the stats that he has, like, I mean, if you go through his first 3 stats, he has that, he has only him and Patrick Mahomes are the only 2 quarterbacks to score touchdowns on the first 2 opening drives of their first 3 starts. Him and Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson are the only quarterbacks to have like 2 passing touchdowns and 50 rushing yards in each of their first 3 starts. Like he's had a historic start, and he played great in this game too. He had a punishing interception, which I watched that interception and like, yeah, you could see it. I think that was more so he placed the ball in the wrong spot because
bad play. He can move on from it. Just bad play overall, but you can get over
bad
it.
Play. Yeah, I mean, I saw like the decision wasn't terrible, but the placement that he put the ball, like it was just.
Well, I'll tell you this, Dustin Rocks.
Yeah, no, of course.
That's Dable's fault, and these coaches are. It's not just the Giants. These coaches are idiots. They don't realize that you're not just playing the Denver Broncos in that game. You're playing the clock. Yeah. On that 3rd down play, you burn Denver's last timeout. If you just run the ball, you get it to 4:45, 4:40. Maybe you get the first down, maybe not. If you don't, you punt the ball, you give the ball back to Denver with 4.5 minutes left, up 2 possessions. They have the ball at the 20. If they score, it takes them 3 minutes, and then they have no timeout, so all the Giants need to do is recover an onside kick, which is so easy now, and we either get a first down or run most of the clock out and then punt or whatever, and the game's over. I don't get these coaches. And again, it's not just the Giants. It was just Stable in this case. They are enemy of the clock. You run the ball in that situation. You're up 2 scores. It's not like you're up 4 and you want to go up a second score to put it out of the. I just don't get it. And then you throw the ball, and Dart throws a pick, and that was bad. But you shouldn't be throwing the ball in the first situation, and then they return it to like the 30. Oh my, just
well, no, that's the thing too. Is like I did see, and like I said, I watched this condensed game, but like in that moment too, it would have been better for him to take a sack because it would have burned the clock too.
Right.
Or
you take
or
a sack,
run it.
They call a timeout. You bleed their time. You take away all their timeouts, and that's football. That's what it comes down to. So many, and the Eagles do this too. Like the Eagles will be up big or big enough late in a game, and they're calling hike with like 8 seconds left on the play clock, 10 seconds left. Every team should be winding the clock down to 2, 3, 1 second. It's weird. Teams used to do it, and they don't do it anymore. It's like they have to. It's like they want to prove something, and it was just bad coaching by Dable. And then I mean, going off a tangent. I thought Denver scored that Bo Nix touchdown to put them up before the Giants had scored their last touchdown. I thought that was dumb by Bo Nix because he scored with like a minute and change left, and it's like the defense hasn't stopped anything. The Giants can easily score in that time. Any NFL team now can. There's no amount of time that isn't enough anymore, especially a minute and change. That is so much in today's NFL. The 2-minute drill has just changed. So it works both ways. I thought that was dumb for Bo Nix to get in the end zone. Everyone's like, oh, you had to score. You had to score. We've seen it over and over again, but yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty garbage. And then the Giants, we got to hope in a prayer. I'm not going to lie. That little Jordan Humphrey pass interference to get the lead back. That's when I started watching the game live again.
Yeah.
And I was it shouldn't have been called. I could see the means for it being called, but in a game like that close. And I even thought, and maybe I'm wrong here, but that Jackson Dart touchdown was awesome.
The extension.
The extension was sick, dude.
Good effort. Great effort. Yeah.
But I was also maybe run the ball with Cam Scatterbo a couple times and run down more clock too. You know, like I don't know. We have two running backs that were incredibly efficient. I mean, like Cam Scatterbo, if you look at his yards per carry, whatever, everybody knows that Cam Scatterbo is like a tough runner. Like if he averages 4 yards a carry, it's because he should have been averaging 2 yards a carry, and he's fighting through everything. And
Yeah.
plus he was good through the air too. Which, dude, that touchdown that he had on that little like dump off pass, dude.
Yeah.
Like he just has so much speed, and then the defender just decides to try to like run into him already in the end zone, and he just sticks him. He's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, you want to give me some contact? I'll take that. I'll take that."
Well, that's what I think they should do with Cam Scatterbo. They need to get him out in space because they're running him like a running back one. He's getting 15, 16 touches. He's averaging under 4 yards a run. They need to get him in space, and that I think it's going to be through the pass game. We saw in that touchdown. You get him in space, it's going to be tough to take him down, even though I think he does have a lack of speed. In the pass game, that doesn't really matter because spacing also helps, with with speed and lack thereof. So I think they need to do a little more of that. Great effort by Dart to get that touchdown. He extends. I won't chirp the Giants that much for scoring like that. I don't think they have to score on that play when it comes down to it. But again, they still their defense still should not have given it up. So
30 seconds, yeah, dude. Well, let's be but that's the big thing. And Brian Burns, who is the NFL tackle for loss leader with 12, and NFL sack leader with 9, taking that from Nick Bonino, who was talking shit, who, by the way, did nothing because Andrew Thomas is an all-pro and literally has given up maybe 3 pressures all season. Nick Bonino stats, by the way, who tweeted after the game, after they it's like, hey, maybe just take this win quietly because you played like shit. All he had was an offsides. No sacks. I don't think he had a QB hit. The only sack that was given up was from our 35-year-old backup guard, Greg Van Roten, who is our starting guard because, he did a poor job of investing with Jonathan Cooper, who was talking crap too.
Good player.
But Jermaine Luminor needs to be extended right now. We got him on a budget. He's been playing great at right tackle. Not the best run defender, but who cares? The reason why I think Jackson Dart can play as good as he has is because we've had good O-line play.
Yeah,
and this was one of the big tests. The Denver Broncos defense is one of the best defense. Putting 32 points down on the Denver Broncos defense is big, especially with your lead receiver being a 5'8" Wan'Dale Robinson, 2 tight ends, which one of them, Theo Johnson, had a sick touchdown off of a Wan'Dale tip, which was actually a perfect throw. Wan'Dale just missed it, and it just happened to bounce in our favor.
What a bounce.
Which the Broncos got one in their favor with Troy Franklin on one of his touchdowns.
That was crazy too.
So it was just karma there. But Theo Johnson, who can barely catch the ball half the time, which I like Theo Johnson. I was rooting for Theo Johnson, but for a team that hated Evan Ingram, and I get it, he was a first round pick for his drops. I see more of it with Theo Johnson than I ever saw.
Oh yeah.
And Daniel Bellinger, who had luckily that wide open touchdown to start the game. I don't know what happened there with the coverage mishap, but that's it. He was passed to Wan'Dale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, Theo Johnson, and Cam Scatterbo. Nobody else caught a pass. Little Jordan Humphrey, nothing. Jalen Hyatt, nothing as always. Bo Collins still hasn't done anything. He's a UDFA. We do need depth. Even when Darius Slayton gets back. But three passing touchdowns with that supporting cast and putting up 32 points against a tough Denver Broncos defense, there is stuff to be happy about. It just, and I alluded to it earlier as well. I know it's a rookie quarterback, but we have a defensive player of the year candidate in Brian Burns. Just in the stats wise, but the way he's playing, Abdul Carter, who's playing awesome. It's not showing up in the stats, but he's affecting the quarterback. He's getting pressures. Kayvon Thibodeau has stepped up his game.
Mm-hmm.
Dexter Lawrence is Dexter Lawrence. He's getting double teamed like hell.
Yeah.
So even though he's not a defensive player of the year candidate because he hasn't had the production.
A little older too.
No, he's only 25, 26, dude.
Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, he's young, dude.
He's 25?
No, he's probably, I think he's
No.
26 or 27. 27. Actually, he's turning 28, so I guess he is getting a little older. I guess I'm just getting a little older
It
too.
seems like me. It seems to me that he's
Yeah.
shown a little bit of age this year. Not in the worst way, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's he came off that injury too, but he's still Dexter Lawrence. He's
He's
getting the
also a
most
nose tackle, so
yeah.
like it's a different position. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of double coverage, which has opened up like the Brian Burns production. But I'm just saying, like, this is a team that's good, like that's good enough to win games, and we've gotten so close. And the reason why we
Right.
lost this game was, I mean, yes, Brian Dable maybe didn't manage the clock better. Shane Bowen, I brought it up, dude. He lost the game to the Cowboys the same exact way. Rushing 3, dropping
Yeah.
8. That's
Can't
what
do it.
Brian Burns was screaming after the game. Brian Burns, who's like our defensive leader, a captain. Like I said, tackle for loss leader and sack leader. Like, if he's saying that, and like Brian Dable said, we're not getting rid of Shane Bowen. I don't know. Maybe it's like too much in the middle of the season. And the thing is, he adjusted against the Eagles and like actually had a pretty good game plan. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, is this the turning point for Shane Bowen? No, he doesn't learn from his mistakes. Literally the same exact predicament where you can't let him march down the field to score a field goal to win the game. He does it again in the same way. And I know Abdul Carter, I think, was dealing with his injury, so maybe they didn't want to rush forward with him, but you can rush forward. We have other players to rush forward. Dexter Lawrence took snaps off in that final drive. Like, that wasn't his decision. Like, we need Dexter Lawrence. Even just his presence alone, like I said, he gets double teamed. You know, it's I think Shane Bowen is garbage. And then the other glaring thing is Judd McEnany, 3 missed extra points, not field goals, extra points in the past 2 weeks. We didn't really care last week because we beat the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, the last thing we want to talk about is Judd McEnany, who got benched his senior year at Rutgers. Like, this is like
Yeah,
he's an
he wasn't
IPP.
in college either, right?
No, he was an international player program. So I guess like I guess it doesn't count against a cap as much. I don't know. I was hearing this on the Giants Nation show. They're talking about, like, it is a smart thing to have your backup kicker through the IPP program, but get Rodrigo Blankenship in there. If Judd beat out Young Hui Koo because Young Hui Koo isn't good either, just get another kicker because we've lost multiple games now. Like, in the past 2 seasons, 3 games because we don't have a kicker. And you know that we don't have a kicker going into the game. It doesn't make sense, Joe Shane. You can draft Cam Scatterbo in the 4th round all you want, but if you're whiffing on these easy things that are needed, like how we went into last season without a cornerback because he just thought, who cares? We don't need one. You're joking about how you'll play cornerback. It's luckily, and I think Deontay Banks, who was playing only because they didn't want to waste that draft pick, he sucked so bad. Finally, they got him out of the game, but then Paulson Adebo gets hurt, and that's who was lighting up all those deep plays for that Bronco comeback. Cordell
Yeah.
Flott, by the way, was amazing. He was like the one like defensive back who's just, it's crazy. He had up and downs. He was always developmental. He was super young when he was drafted in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
But he's
Adebo
grown
hasn't
into
been
himself.
great this year.
No.
Tay Banks is just so bad.
He's unplayable, which is crazy.
You have to cut ties. I've said this before on the podcast. I've told you this, Sean. Bad players. It's not that they're when you play bad players, they hurt you. So if you don't play them, they don't help, but they don't hurt. And if you cut them, you get a player that can help you. You just can't play bad players. They help you lose, and he is a primetime case of that. He's just I thought he was kind of nice coming out of Maryland, but there were a lot of concerns too coming out of college with him, and he's just been so awful.
Yeah, and Andrew Phillips too. Andrew Phillips, who like has been a hot and cold player, he let up a bunch of deep passes in coverage too, and it's, which has been his thing. I think he was like leading the league in like yards allowed, even though he has like, I think he has 2 or 3 interceptions. He has all these. Yeah, I think he was also up there in the league, like top 10 in like pass breakups. So like he's like this 50-50 player, but like he needs to get better. I mean, I know it's his second year and he was a third round pick, but like we're relying on him. And Brian
No,
Dable even
listen,
said at one
yeah.
point of the year, he could be one of the best slot cornerbacks in the league, and he's shown some of that like big playability, but then he's also shown that he could be borderline unplayable too and letting up these big plays. So it's yeah.
Slot cornerback is a legit starting position in the NFL. Some teams even view their slot corner as more important than their cornerback too. So yeah, can't have issues there.
No. And I mean, hey, he put up some good games against CeeDee Lamb. We're gonna play them again. But yeah, this Giants team is 2-5, and it sucks because I mean we've had other seasons where like the games are close or whatever, but like these games that we've been losing, we had in the bag, and
Yeah.
it was just like I get it. Like if the other team earns that, and like Bo
Yeah,
Nix turned into
right.
John Elway, that's fine. But I mean, it was our incompetence, the lack of a kicker, the same defensive play calling that lost us the game against the Cowboys. That's garbage. Like we beat ourselves against the Saints because our players just had stupid fumbles, like that. Whatever. I know everybody's like, well, we should have won that game too. Yes, we should have, but we didn't. But these games are like the games that are like momentum shifters, and like if we win this game, I think we're going and getting that wide receiver that they keep flirting with, which
Yeah.
And I think that we have momentum going into Philly. Like
Oh yeah.
try to win 3 in a row. Like
it's deflating to lose games like that and have to rebound a week later. No doubt. Yep.
I saw Bo Nix.
Long play ride home from Denver. The game was on the later side too. Not late, but it wasn't the 1 p.m. game. And you're right. It all has an impact.
Yeah, it just sucks when you think you have one in the bag and then they just take your soul out of you, man. Yeah. And dude, Bo Nix, it's funny. I'm in his post game interview. He was talking about like, how does it feel? He's like, I was thinking about how I was going to respond to reporters about how we got shut out, because that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like, man. But yeah, I just did want to. I wanted to say, like, the Giants players that talk their talk, they showed out. I know that like Abdul Carter, he was fighting through an injury. He was still getting after it. Pressures came on Thibodeau too, but Brian Burns, I like that he's the sack leader over Nick Bonito now. Took it from him in this game, and Nick Bonito did nothing but an offside. So,
right.
Screw you, Nick Bonito. All right. Also, your grammar sucks. So I don't know if that's why you deleted the tweet or because it was just off base, but like I just freaking use the proper words. I don't know. Maybe they got to bring back the squigglies.
Some of these guys should definitely use a publicist for sure.
100%. And maybe somebody being like, you know what? Probably don't even tweet that.
I was going to say, and a social media manager too. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Anything else you want to get from this game, or you want to move on to the NFC's clash?
Yeah, I guess move on to Washington. Dallas.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys, man. Dallas Cowboys take on the Washington Commanders in Jerry World. And the primetime America's Game of the Week, where the sun shines so bright and blinds players in their eyes. But this time, those Dallas Cowboys had a George Pickens with a freaking dark visor. And he said, bring on the sun, and I'll bring you a touchdown, baby. As the Dallas Cowboys beat the Commanders 44-22. And Jaden Daniels is, I'm not going to say it, because his mom told me not to say it. But somewhat reminiscent of RG3. Except this time you don't have Kirk Cousins, you have Marcus Mariota.
You see RG3 tweet out back at her?
No, what'd he say?
Nothing. He just said, like, hope he's not her or something like that. It's like, oh my God, this guy catches strays like nobody. Like, what did RG3 do?
Dude, he was like the coolest player of the year, rookie.
He was great. He had a few really great years. Yeah,
dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
But the way he played, kind of like Jaden Daniels, even though it's a little this injury is not as related to that, but you gotta be smarter. You can't play that way in the NFL. Washington's bad football team. Before Jane Daniels got hurt in this game, they were playing bad football. This team is old. They were missing Debo Samuel. They were missing Terry McLaurin. Okay.
Luke McCaffrey got hurt too.
Yeah, it's not like, but this team has been playing this way the entire year. And like I said, throughout this whole time, you give them credit because they're going all in. They're just going all in with a lot of old guys. Their defense is awful. Oh my god, their defense is awful. Their offense really isn't that much better. I don't know. Their defense is just that bad. They
Well,
can't
they're
stop
struggling,
anyone.
man. Yeah.
What's that?
Well, their offense is depleted, but also like Terry McLaurin, like, you know, came in kind of hurt. Debo Samuel has looked pretty good for them, but like missing him sucks. And, you know, when you have to rely on Robbie Chosen, Temple great, hoot hoot.
Yes.
And Chris Moore, who just comes in randomly and actually has some
Some
production.
moments. He had a player too.
Yeah, Jalen Lane too, as that rookie dude that they got to be a kick returner. Like, he's got juice, man. But he'd be better off not as your leading receiver, which obviously happens when you lose your two superstar receivers. But yeah, the Washington Commanders kind of do suck. And they have, obviously, missing Debo Samuel, missing Terry McLaurin, Luke McCaffrey, who's kind of been emerging as like a wide receiver 3, gets hurt. Jalen Lane looks okay. Ja'Cory Cross-Humera, who we were praising as like the new savior of the Washington Commanders, maybe you could say it's because the Cowboys' run defense finally got it going. But he wasn't able to do anything on the ground. Neither was, you know, Chris Rodriguez. Jeremy McNichols had a couple of big breakout plays. But, yeah, this Washington Commanders team doesn't look like a team that would be going to the NFC Championship again like they did last year. Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
This, I mean, I just don't believe in this Washington team, and I don't believe in the direction they're going to, at least for this season. They're injured. Okay, whatever. A lot of teams are injured. How are you playing despite of that? How are you recovering? When you are getting healthy, how are you playing? They're just not playing good football. But again, last year too, they were squeaking by bad teams and weren't beating good teams, but they kind of had that house money feeling where it's like, you know, whatever. But you could see this from last year's team. At least last year's team was playing better than this year's team. I know we're only 7 games in, but like this year's team is just they're not competent anywhere. Their defense is awful. Their offense is bad. And you look at their offense, it's like you kind of understand why it's bad. When McLaurin's healthy, good. Debo Samuel's wide receiver 2, he can have moments. He can be productive. I don't love, though. I think you'd want to get someone a little more talented, a little more sure thing for a, you know, elite receiver. Zach Ertz, tight end, good, but
anyway, Zach Ertz he's still doing it.
Yeah, but he's older and not as in slower, so it's not like I guess that's the least of their concern of their worries.
Yeah.
So I still think it's still the idea of being old around a lot of around most of the team, and defensively they bring in guys like Von Miller. They bring back
Bobby
Wagner. Their cornerbacks, I don't know what to say.
Well, Marshawn Lattimore is not terrible.
He hasn't been.
He had
great.
a bad call on him for passing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just said Dorrance Armstrong, now out for the season with ACL.
Yeah, well, now that he was like their pass rush guy,
right?
I think he had 6 sacks before. Let me see if I can pull this up here, because I feel like he had a couple of games with 2 sacks this season where I was like, oh, Dorrance Armstrong, like, actually together 5.5 before.
Wow.
Going out.
I don't know. It's just it's not. I'm not surprised. This isn't coming out of nowhere. I guess they're a little worse than I thought they would be, but
Yeah.
but you know, I just saw this coming with Washington ultimately. Maybe not this bad, but just like I, I, I don't get getting older in the NFL. I get like maybe you don't want to be too young in some ways, but
They just had a lot of money. They had a lot of money, and you
right,
thought that they could just like build in every single facet, but instead they just got like two big names who like good. I mean, Laramie Tunsil's still an elite left tackle, top 5, top 10 on a bad day in the NFL.
yeah,
And Deebo Samuel, like honestly, you hit on that when he was injured in this game, but Deebo Samuel has been playing like their wide receiver one better than Terry McLaurin, who
yeah,
hasn't really been able to be on the field. Which they ultimately re-signed, which I think we were all rooting for. I feel like they should have, but that ended up not being great for them right now. And I don't know. They have holes, like you said. But Dorrance Armstrong, like their pass rushes is like a decaying Von Miller, and like I'm trying to like interior. They got Teron Payne. Oh, they have Preston Smith. I didn't even realize that. But still, Preston Smith's not really doing much for
yeah.
him.
Another
He's
guy who's been
also,
in the league for a minute.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think Commanders fans are feeling great about this season, which is fair. Like, honestly, I think as a Giants fan, I feel better about our season being 2-5
Yeah,
because I feel like we're on the up and up. And, like, you guys have the reigning rookie of the year, but I mean, these injuries were one of the reasons why a lot of my friends, when I was like Jaden Daniels, are like, dude, this guy's a twig. Like, and running like that is not long term. And I mean, I have to cross my fingers too because Jackson Dart like tries to emulate Cam Scadaboo and
takes a lot of
charges people
hits.
with his head. Yeah, but yeah, which needs to get better. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's
They
I think the playoff hopes are looking low for
yeah,
the
they
Commanders
everybody
now.
loves to champion like the next quarterback, and they do it with rookies. And it's like, guys, you need 3 years to see what a quarterback looks like consistency wise. I don't care what they do their rookie year. A lot of rookies are having success because no one has a book on them.
Yeah,
No one has schemes and have tape to study them. So they go out there and they ball out. And then we see the sophomore slump, and that's kind of normal. And then they never return. CJ Stroud
Ahmad Stroud.
has never returned to the quarterback we saw rookie year.
Even Bo Nix, dude. Bo Nix, I mean, he had that like John Elway-esque comeback, but like it was the whole first 3 quarters
Yeah,
seemed to be
he did the same thing.
swing passes, deep passes, swing passes, deep passes, and the swing passes were getting blown up. And the deep passes weren't connecting.
Yeah,
And I think that might have to do with play calling too.
he did
But
the same thing against the Eagles. Oddly enough, I've never liked Bo Nix. Obviously, with his Auburn ties, I saw him a lot. Wasn't great there, but he might be better than I thought. I still don't think he's that great. I agree. I feel like we got to stop championing guys like Bo Nix. They're not that good, but he
yeah,
has surprised me after you know keep on coming up with the wins. I know the defense is good. They have pieces on
yeah,
offense, but I don't think Denver's like really that good of a team. I think they're fine, but just nothing special. But he keeps adding wins. But yeah, we did it. We did it with Jaden Daniels last year. He had a great year, but they weren't beating good teams. And then when they played good teams in the playoffs, I guess they beat the Lions, and then they played the Eagles and got smacked. So I don't know. I think, yeah,
yeah.
like you sort of said, Sean. I think Washington should kind of like scrap this year and look forward. I give it. Listen,
I
ballsy,
don't think Rush Jaden Daniels back. I
yeah,
think make sure he's healthy.
ballsy move they made by like saying we have a rookie quarterback, we might as well go all in because we have him so cheap. I think they just made bad decisions on who to bring in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And it felt that way when they were making, like I said this when they were like doing their making their trades and ads, and I go, these are not the guys you would think that they would do that with. You would think they'd be more aggressive, more on guys who are just like better players, but who are younger too. But here we are.
well, you know what? I think we shit on the Commanders enough. I think it's time to give the Cowboys their flowers, which I feel like I do a lot because especially you're harsh on them, dude.
Oh,
The Cowboys, listen, they're waking up, dude. They're waking up. Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level. He's been consistent. CeeDee Lamb comes back healthy as ever. I mean, 5 for 110 with a touchdown. George Pickens getting those deep contested catches that he's known for, where like it's like the most improbable, but for some reason that's what he's best at. Jake Ferguson continues to just be that nice little underneath. And Javonte Williams, man. Javonte Williams didn't give him enough credit. He's looking like a great RB1. I mean, maybe you guys should have kept Rico Dowdle because we see how good Rico Dowdle is, but you can't complain with Javonte Williams, especially because he assigned him for like nothing. I will say I don't think Jadeveon Clowney, like we've seen him before, he had a great game. I was looking at the PFF grades, which don't really mean anything, but he was the highest graded player. It was Jadeveon Clowney. He had a nice sack in this game.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Ezeraku. Yeah, Ezeraku got after it too.
Those ratings are so bogus. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And then Deron Bland, dude, like it looked like the Cowboys of years old, where Deron Bland's picking off a Washington Commanders quarterback for a pick six, which we saw on Thanksgiving a few years ago with the beautiful Sam Howell performance. But yeah, Cowboys look good, man. Cowboys look good. And the defense actually did stop the run, which they were looking for, and they got use out of their like ragtag team of pass rushers with, young heads like Donovan Ezeraku and old, prayers and Jadeveon Clowney. So, a game like this, you put up 44 points, your defense plays well, you crush a division rival who was projected to be better than you this year. You gotta take it in. You gotta enjoy it.
Yeah, this is also a week after they lost to Carolina. Washington's not a good team. It was at home. They're a week by week team, and this week they were better than a bad team. Last week they weren't against Carolina. We saw this too. They did this against the Bears earlier this season. So I don't know. Not convinced. They need to be more consistent.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, you know what? They're playing a pretty good Denver's Broncos team. I know, because those guys are comeback kings, dude, next week. So I think that's it on there. Jeremy, do you want to do like picks for next week, or
we could do some.
You got time for that?
We could do picks.
All right, let's just start off with the first game of next week. A game that I've had circled for quite a while, and I circled it 3 times more after last Thursday.
Okay.
And that's the New York Football Giants playing the Philadelphia Eagles at the Link after we crushed them, doubled their points, 34-17 on Thursday Night Football, and everybody said, "Man, these Giants are for real." And then they said that for 3 quarters against the Broncos, and then they're like, "Oh crap!" Like they still have management issues. But what do you think the spread is, Jeremy? It's at home.
Spread
Eagles are hungry.
Spread is Eagles minus. Again, I'm between 4.5 and 5.5. I'll go minus 4.5.
Let's see here. I'm out to the line. Oh, nope. It actually hasn't changed because before the Giants-Broncos game, I actually scrolled too far down, and it hasn't changed since then. It is actually Eagles minus 7. They don't care about the Giants.
Yeah, I guess that's the case.
I think it was a fluke.
I guess, they know where the money. I guess it gives them room for the line to go down too. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just thinking. These lines are so weird because they used to hate going that high, and now they go they'll go to 15-20 without any question. I can see it. I get that it's closer just because it's a divisional rival, but I think the Eagles make adjustments too after the first game with a week of rest. I get it, but I also don't. So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man, because Shane Bowen drew up an awesome game plan against the Eagles offense 2 weeks ago, but now he shows incompetence again. I don't know. It's just a game that Saquon Barkley finally gets his revenge. We thought it was happening. 2 weeks ago when
Yeah.
he started off the game with like 35 yards and then was bottled up the rest of the game. I don't know. I think that like I've been watching this Giants team, and even after that big collapse, like that just shouldn't have happened. Like this team fights. This team is frisky. This team can get it done even without wide receivers. Jackson Dart has been getting it done to guys like Lil Jordan Humphrey and relying on our tight ends that like I don't think either of them are even top 15 in the league, at least not at this point. And just Cam Skadbo being a beast. I think Tyrone Tracy's starting to wake up too 2 weeks after his injury. He got a little bit more action this game. He had a really beautiful touchdown in that pass game. I mean, I think that spread is honestly a little demeaning to the Giants. I mean, unless they just think that missing Jalen Carter and Quinyon Mitchell was that important to the team, which they are.
Which I think, I think that played a major. It was weird too because it's like Jalen Carter might be the biggest piece to the Eagles defense, no doubt. But if you're losing Quinyon Mitchell, and then you have to start Adoree and Keely Ringo, it then becomes Quinyon Mitchell being the biggest loss, even with Carter. So very weird for sure. Yeah.
Where do you see this going, Jeremy? I'll let you do this prediction, and I want you to be raw, dude.
It could go a number of ways. I want to credit everything that happened before because it happens. Obviously, I just think the Eagles. I think they recover and they make corrections, but I still think I'll go 27-21. I want to say like 20, I want to say like 27 like 22 because there have been some weird scores and that feels like a norm. But I'll go something.
Yeah, especially with our kickers, dude.
Yeah, Jesus. I'll go something right.
Giants is.
I'll go something of those lines, I guess.
You go 22?
No, I'll go 21.
All right.
Yeah. All right. No, I'll go 22. You're right. I'll go 22. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you never know, dude. Who knows who our kicker will be? Maybe it'll be Rodrigo Blankenship. Honestly, I'll take that. He's fun. You know, he just won a bunch of money for charity at College Game Day last weekend. Yeah, I have to love the Giants here. I can't. I don't care. Like we're hungry.
Quote that.
Listen, no, dude. Listen. When people are out on the Giants, we prove them wrong, and I backed them all those times too, and I'm backing them again.
Well, correction. I've been out on the Giants for the last decade, and I've been right every year. So,
2020, I think was the last time that we beat you prior to Thursday, which like we were coming off a pretty close win, dude.
We haven't been,
but I know that, dude. Yeah, I know if the Eagles beat us. No matter what the score, if they crush us, it'll be endless because we got our laughs in.
Oh yeah, I'm driving straight to
even if it's close.
I'm driving to the Meadowlands. Yeah. I'm finding every fan I see there.
But you know what, dude? I think the Giants I think it's gonna be another, dude. The Giants are putting out points, dude, and I think the Giants go 28, and the Eagles go. I think this is gonna be the game of the year, and I think the Eagles are gonna be 27. SG.
I was thinking you might say that number. That would be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just we better find a kicker because like we can't be like we can't like it's like the Cowboys are over here kicking 65-yard field goals. Like Brandon Aubrey has like the lead, and we talked about it. Like,
yeah,
it's such a huge advantage. I don't even need him. Like Judd McAnamy, I don't think we had him kick over like a 32-yarder or something. I think that was it. That's the only thing we trusted him with. And we weren't trusting him. Like, give us a kicker that can at least just kick extra points consistently.
Yeah.
That's fine. And maybe can sneak in a 50-yarder. Graham Gano, to his credit, before getting hurt, I know he's injury prone, was kicking those. And he looked good.
Yes, he did.
I know everybody wants to say that we should have just replaced him. But if you look at some of the kickers that are in the league right now, I know there's a lot of elite ones, but there's a lot of trash ones. All right, the next one we got up on the docket is actually the Cowboys at Broncos. I believe that's 4:25 Eastern.
Game is in Denver.
In Denver again. Which means, dude, this is the Brandon Aubrey 75-yard field
Oh,
goal.
Jesus. Yeah. Wow.
He could just kick a field goal from like the 70 every single drive if they
Yeah,
wanted
seriously. Could go either way. I don't know which Dallas team we're going to see. I'll go Denver. Yeah, I still don't love Dallas defense. I'll go Denver 31, Dallas
to. I like this.
26.
Denver 31, Dallas 26. Hey, they've both been putting up decent numbers.
Yeah,
So.
I like Denver's defense, but I think I'll credit Dallas's offense as of late a little more, so I'll give them a few points there. Yeah.
Yeah, which does not cover the spread. The spread is, the Cowboys wouldn't cover the spread. It's Denver -3 at home, which is essentially the second area and give them the home balance.
Neutral.
I don't know, man. I'm curious. I wonder if the Broncos defense have more of a get back to it game, especially if Dak's going to be passing it a lot. But like Javonte's been doing good on the ground. I think Brandon Aubrey is going to have some killer field goals in this game. I also just don't think that I watched the struggles, like even against the Jets.
Yeah.
Didn't go well against the Jets. Looked awful against the Giants for the first 3 quarters, and then just had some magic come. I know the Cowboys defense hasn't been great, but I feel like they are picking up steam and some synergy. I'm actually going to go Dallas here because honestly, I think I might hate the Broncos more than the Cowboys right now, which is weird just because of this weird, stupid comeback everything. I hate it. So
right.
I'm going this is kind of a hate pick, but also I think my numbers are crunched here. I'm going to go Dallas 34, Denver 27.
Okay.
Weird score, but honestly, I could see it happen. And then lastly, Monday Night Football is going to be a stinker, especially if Marcus Mariota's in there. But we have the 2 former Indian teams, the Chiefs and the Commanders. And that spread, do you want to guess it, Jeremy? It's
who are the Commanders playing? The
Chiefs in Kansas City.
Oh, Chiefs.
With maybe Marcus Mariota at quarterback.
Oh, can I get a hint, Sean? Does the line reflect, I guess, does it reflect
Marcus Mariota?
Okay. Minus 13.5.
Minus 10.5.
Okay.
I think that's because maybe they're like,
I get. I always want to go low, and then it goes high, and then I go, oh, let me try going high, and then I go too high.
Yeah, that's okay. It happens, dude. It happens. I do think. Actually, Sunday night is. I'm just looking at the Lions, Packers, Steelers, Aaron Rodgers revenge game.
Packers.
That'll be fun too.
Oh,
yeah.
That is the rematch of the Super Bowl, whatever year that.
Too, yeah.
Wow.
That was
how things have
2010?
11? No, 11 was Giants.
2010.
Yeah.
It was either the year before the Giants
or the
Super
year
Bowl,
after.
The second Super Bowl, the year after, yeah.
I think 12 was.
I think it was the year before.
I think so.
It was the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I remember, dude. I actually did like a live stream with my friends, and I remember like smacking a bag of chips over the kid who was rooting for the Steelers' head, and it just exploded all over the place. I was like, "Screw the Steelers!" And I don't know.
Oh my god!
I wasn't a good person. To be fair, that kid wasn't a good person either. So I was just neutral. What do you? I mean, this is just. I mean, I feel like even Commanders fans, if like Mariota's starting,
yeah,
I've been there for the past few years with the Giants, but even this year, starting off with Russ, like you have a quarterback that you just don't even want to really watch, and a team that's like injured too. So it's like if Debo's out, McLaurin's out, I don't know the status of these guys, but like it could be ugly.
I'd like to be able to relate, but when Jalen's out, Tanner McKee's in, so I'm okay.
Yeah, you're so good, dude. You're so good. Even when we had Tommy DeVito, I wasn't like, "Yay, Tommy DeVito game." I was usually like, "It's late enough in the season. Let's tank and get
Well, I
a
guess
contract."
early on with Tommy DeVito, when he had a few splashes, it was intriguing. But yeah, ultimately,
Yeah.
I guess after a year, the whole it becomes more of a circus and like a fun little thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Where's he?
I
New
was actually
England? He's on New England's practice.
He's still in New
field?
England. It's
Wow.
actually funny because I was going back through like our old archives, and like week 7 of the 2023 season is when I dressed up in all black. It was after the Giants lost to the Jets
I
because we had to
remember that. Yeah.
put in Tommy DeVito, and I was just like I was just like it was like the funeral of all the Giants' hopes and dreams. Yeah, and like they didn't trust him to pass the ball past like the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and
I
we just
remember
lost the
that.
game that we should have won. Yeah, that was rough.
Definitely.
But let's talk about this game. I think the Commanders are going to get their ass kicked no matter what. So then the Chiefs just kicked the Raiders' butt, shut them out.
Getting a little more
I think Geno
healthy.
Smith is finally done.
Chiefs are getting a little.
Rashee Rice is good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Chiefs 37, Commanders 17. I know that sounds awful.
I mean, it makes sense with Washington's
realistic.
defense. Oddly enough, I think I'll go lower just because it's the NFL is unpredictable. I'll go. 33,
Yep.
14, I guess, something like that.
14.
Yeah.
There we have it. I mean, that's pretty much just it's just as bad
Same,
as mine.
same idea. Different number, same idea.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some Commanders fans that are like me with my Giants and have way more faith than we should. But if Jaden Daniels, I wouldn't rush Jaden Daniels back.
I wouldn't either.
Football game, dude. Like,
it's not.
I feel like that's why he hurt his hamstring is because they rushed him back already.
It's not even that they're playing good they're playing good football. They just have some end of game losses that they can correct. They're just not playing good football this year. It's tough to throw out a season, but like, and hamstrings suck. That is a nagging injury that can get a lot worse too, in the worst way. Not good.
Yeah. Especially when you're it's not the best, man. Not the best. And I love Jaden Daniels, and I hope he comes back healthy and is just as good as he was as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Not against the Giants, but against I don't want to root for injuries. You don't want careers.
No one roots for injuries, no doubt.
No. Yeah, but I think that's been an episode, Jeremy. Anything else you want to say before we close this thing out?
I don't think so.
All right, I'll say this. Philadelphia, you better watch out because the New York Football Giants are coming to town. And I'm not going to that game because the last time I went to a Giants game at the Link, your fans physically kicked my ass. But I will be watching from my home safely and rooting proudly for the New York Football Giants to smack those frickin' Eagles and take back what you guys took from me, which was my health and I was fearing for my life. You guys are really scary, Philadelphia Eagles fans. Really scary, especially when there's a bunch of you and only like literally 2.5 of us, and it was really scary. But we'll talk about that story after the Giants beat your ass.
Yeah, we should have gone to that game in Philadelphia senior year instead of watching the horse.
I know. Yeah, that was bad too. I still got it from those Eagles fans. Look, I think since you were there as an Eagles fan next to me, I only just had the whole bar chat ass.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I am kind of an asshole. That was a close game, dude.
That was a great game.
That was a Jake Elliott coming out party, dude.
Oh, yeah. Look at two-time Super Bowl champions since. Isn't that something?
Yeah, good for you guys. All right. Well, that's an episode. Like and subscribe. Comment some of your stories of how you've gotten beat up at Eagles games, or maybe at Cowboys games, Giants games, Commanders games, and let's see if they're as horrific as the ones that I have experienced. Which, like, they were pretty messed up. I'm not gonna lie. All right, well, we'll see then. Thank you. We are the Beasts of the NFC East, and